Hey everybody, Kimberly Olson here, coming in live. I had a little bit of a technical snag there, so I was just trying to figure out what to do. So here I am. We're gonna give it a go. Just never know with this kind of stuff what's gonna happen. If you guys have ever done lives before, that's why they're lives, because they're a little crazy. So I am gonna see if I can share this. Okay, hi everybody, give me a second, Kimberly Olson here. We're coming in live tonight to talk about organizing from the inside out. Woohoo! So I'm gonna give it a second here for Jennifer to get on, but Jennifer Lava is going to be our special guest tonight. I'm gonna watch closely here to make sure I can get her on. And Jennifer is a professional organizer. She's actually won awards here in Austin for her professionalism, her effectiveness, and I've actually had a chance to hear her speak in person. So a lot of you I know have big goals for 2018, but I've also noticed that you are wanting to find out ways to be more effective, to be organized, to tackle your to-do list, and just get it all done. And sometimes we have paralysis analysis, or we have overwhelm, and we just don't take action. So hey, thanks for hopping on. So if you guys are hopping on live, go ahead and put 1 in the comments. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and put 2. If you're new and have never seen me before, my name is Kimberly Olson. And if you are sharing this video, which I would love for you guys to share, go ahead and put shared in the comments. So I can't see anything right now, so I'm gonna try this really quick. Let me see if it lets me invite people. You guys just get to stare at me up close and oh, it let me invite her. Okay. So let me get back to the screen here. Oh, if you guys have done this before, it's actually kind of frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. Not to intimidate you for doing lives, but to actually do it where you invite somebody, it's kind of frustrating. Okay. Oh, sorry guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, give me a second here. I cannot get out of the screen. Okay, Jennifer, are you there? Oh, hold on. Yes. Oh, I think we got it. Oh, thank God. Jennifer, you're awesome. I just accepted you, so you should be coming in here in a second. So guys, just give it a second here. Technical difficulties. It's not really difficulties, it's just not user-friendly. Okay, add as guest. The world is right again. We're adding Jennifer, give us a second. Okay, Jennifer is being added, so hopefully your internet connection is strong enough to make the connection. Yay! Hi, Jennifer.
Hello.
All right, is your volume up okay? You guys, will you put a comment that you can hear both of us okay? The comments are, I think, on my side. So, okay, so we got some hearts, so we should be good. Okay, so if you guys are just hopping on, put a 1 in the comments if you're watching this live. If you're watching the replay, put 2. If you're new and have never seen one of my lives, oh, you can hear us. Okay, thanks, Kaylee. Or you're new to Jennifer, and this is your first time getting a chance to find out more about her, then I want you to put new in the comments. If you share this video, you guys, I want to give you a special shout out. So if you work with other business people, if you work with people that have a lot going on, if you work with moms or you run a team or anything like that, yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I want you to put share in the comments because we need to share this information with others. That's what Facebook's all about, and it's just to help people because Jennifer has amazing tips. And I'm so excited to have Jennifer on, you guys. I heard her speak last year, I think, and she did a really great workshop at Body Business Fitness Club where I'm a wellness director. And I thought of myself as a pretty organized person, and I'm not. After I heard Jennifer's workshop, I walked away with so many practical tools, and I went room by room in my house. My husband thought I was pregnant again because he thought I was nesting, and I wasn't. I was just so excited to just get that clutter out, and I kept it up. And we just had Christmas, and Jennifer, you're in my mind because I'll think, okay, everything has a home. You know, girls, okay, go get the Ziploc bag for the puzzle pieces. Like everything has a home. So without further ado, Jennifer, thank you so much for taking the time to let me interview you tonight, and welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so to start, we talked a little bit about what we wanted to cover tonight. Why don't we dive right in? They all know that you're a professional organizer. I told them you've won awards and things like that here locally in Austin. Why don't we talk a little bit about the relationship between clutter and decision making? Because I've got some high powered followers and people that are my friends on Facebook, and they're trying to make amazing things happen in 2018. So this could really help a lot of people.
Well, thank you very much. And yes, there is a big connection between clutter and decision making. Clutter is delayed decisions. Those piles that you have sitting around your house or your office um, tend to be where you've just set something down. You sort of made a decision not to make a decision about putting it away.
Mm-hmm.
You can also have delayed decisions on your schedule too, on your to-do list and things like that. If you have a permanent to-do list where nothing really seems to move, so you've gotten all that stuff out of your brain and it's on a list, but then it goes nowhere after that, that's also a delayed decision. You've decided not to move it into action or off your to-do list.
Okay, so one of the things I heard one time a while ago, it said people who are really successful, so like CEOs and things like that, one of the things they'll say is that they never touch a piece of paper twice, or if they have an email, they do something with it. I've never been able to get that down. Is that what you mean? Is that something that people need to implement to be successful? Because that's kind of daunting.
It is, and my personal belief is that especially with some of the clients I work with, that's a difficult thing to put on someone to only touch it once. There are probably some things in your life that you can make a simple enough decision about and you would only touch it once. But I sort of think with some things life's busy and it's a little bit harder to say that across the board with all things. But if you're pretty well organized and you know where the stuff goes, it is possible to get pretty close to the only touch it once. I just don't think it's 100% realistic for everyone and
Okay.
everything.
We have some overachievers watching, like myself, so that's kind of good, you know. Let's back up a little bit. So, with basic organizing tools and strategies and things like that, if people say, because obviously the people watching are interested in getting more organized, what are some tips or first steps that you technically, or not technically, but are kind of your go-to strategies that you recommend for clients? Like, this is where I want to start. And not only physical things, which I totally agree with. So I think your workspace but also mentally the stuff running, you know, you try to go to sleep and your to-do list is going. What are kind of your first action steps for people?
Well, generally speaking, I feel like there's 5 basic steps to getting organized, although they're not necessarily basic in action. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the first step would be to bring like things together. So in the physical world, collecting up whatever area or whatever category of items you want to organize. As far as your to-do list, it would be have a sort of a master to-do list where you've collected all your thoughts. Getting everything in one place, so to speak, so you can see what you're dealing with is really important. I've noticed our imaginations or our memories aren't that great all the time. We tend to think we have more stuff than we really do, or less stuff than we really do. We forget what was in the back of the cabinet or in that basket over there. So we have to pull it out and really look at what's going on. Then the next step is, so once we've gathered it, we want to start putting like things together. And then we start asking the question, especially when it comes to stuff, do I need it, use it, or love it? And that's the criteria I tend to encourage people to use. You've probably heard some other methods out there, but it still basically comes down to, is this something I really need? Is it essential to my life? Does it bring enhancement to my life in some way? And if it doesn't really fall into the need it, use it, or love it category, it's probably a good sign it can move out. Also, you recognize if it's just basically trash or whatever, the trash is easy stuff to let go of. You just, throw it away or recycle it or whatever. And then the next step would be, now that you've pared down and you see what you have and it's a smaller amount, you can think about where you're going to put it. Where's the home going to be that it needs to live in? And that might be based on where you use it, where you need it the most. You know, obviously kitchen stuff's in the kitchen and office supplies to be at your desk. But, you know, then beyond that, does it need some sort of a container in that location? Maybe you have, you know, for your papers on your desk, a tray would really be helpful. Or maybe you need a stand-up file sorter because you'd like to see it kind of up more in your face, you know, the different files you're working on. And then that would be the opportunity to buy those containers. Or I have found that many people already have those things in their homes and
Yes.
offices, so you can repurpose what you have. And then it's putting those things into those containers in those locations. And then the last step, which I think is one of the most important steps, is the ongoing process of moving things in and out. Just because you've decluttered and you've pared down and everything's put away pretty, it doesn't mean stuff's not going to come in anymore. Stuff will continue to come into your house and your office and wherever. It's just
You
life.
should see my desk right now. True.
Yeah. So you have to have a plan for when new things come in. Does that mean old things move out? Does something replace something? Like, is it a one in, one out kind of a thing? But a continuing evaluation of your stuff at all times hopefully means you don't have to do a massive declutter again if you've got a system and a flow of things coming in and out as you'd like it. And equating that to a to-do list, like I said, you gather all of your to-dos in one place. It's good to get stuff out of your mind, you know, like when you're laying down to go to sleep at night and you've got all those thoughts running through your head, having a piece of paper, or like I like using Evernote to collect my to-dos. So that's my digital way of doing it. But have a dumping ground so it gets out of your head. And then you can, the way I like to do it is I like to start to group my to-dos. So if I have ones associated with my business or one associated with my home or one of the, you know, organizations I'm involved with, I sort of group them on my master to-do list. And then when it's time to get it done, I start pulling a few things off of that to-do list. And maybe I have a shorter one, just a few on a piece of paper. Or I also like using it in conjunction with my calendar. I found that if I schedule what I want to do, I have a better chance of getting it done. Putting it on that calendar and making that date with myself, I'm not always great about keeping dates with myself, but I have a better chance if I see it on my calendar.
Yeah, it's really hard. So when you're thinking about the things that you want to do, how do you figure out what to do first? Because like I think there's so many things on our list that it's hard to decide like what gets that attention. And I also think because we have so much going on and we have Facebook notifications going off all day, stuff like that, I feel as though people think they're busy, but they're not really productive. And I've gotten really good, as you guys know, of guarding my time. And there's very little wiggle room in it. But that's kind of out of default just because I have so much going on. But what are some things that people can do to prioritize their time? And I like the thing about the scheduling. I think that's really awesome. So scheduling, I think, is great. But what are some things that you would recommend for people who are feeling like, I just kind of don't know where to prioritize my time?
Yeah. Well, so one of them would be, you mentioned like the Facebook notifications going off. Stop the notifications. Stop the email notifications. They, especially if you're going to have some concentrated work time. If you've scheduled that from 9 to 10, you're going to do focused work on whatever your priority is, whatever that project that's most important. And I'll talk in a second about goal setting, of course, but you got to stop those interruptions. So with most of my clients, if I see that they have those email notifications popping up, I really try to get them to stop it. That you've got mail business or the little ding in the corner, that has got to stop because that mail will be there. Those notifications on Facebook will be there. No one's, you know, going anywhere. That stuff holds for a while. So you could schedule time. I think it's a good idea to schedule time for when you're going to read your emails and when you might check your Facebook. That can go on your schedule too. But you know, just randomly checking whenever you feel like it, is that being busy without being productive? And we don't want you to be busy and unproductive. And it is important to goal set. If you know you have a project or priorities in your life, I often recommend that you write it down, and not just on a little piece of paper, but put it up on something where you can see it. Like if you have a bulletin board or a whiteboard, or you print it out real pretty, or some way you can see it in front of your face all the time. And 3 is probably enough. They found that most of the time we can only get 3 to 5 big things done in a day. And
Wow.
yes, and that's because of interruptions and other things. But so you have your big overall goals, and then you have to break down what it is that you're doing to get to those goals. And then those break down into smaller steps. And so you have to really consider what it is you're doing, and that will help you figure out how you're going to do it.
Okay, so if you guys are just hopping on, put a 1 in the comments if you're watching this live, and put 2 if you're watching the replay. I want you guys to put a number in the comments of how many things you're trying to get done in a day. Because some of you guys know I use the Empowered Life Planner, and if it's something you're interested in, just put planner in the comments and I'll get you guys the link. They're shipping out right now, so she had an issue with the printers. We should have them, but I used the 2017 and it was really interesting, Jennifer. It goes right with what you're saying. After you decide your gratitude for the day, it says your 3 big action steps for the day. And when I first started using the planner, I was like, 3, where's the other 10 different things, dozens of things I try to get done. So when I started with the 3, it was really interesting. Even by lunchtime, I was feeling like I was successful, which I've never felt that way. I've always felt like I'm behind the 8 ball. I've always felt like I didn't even come close to accomplishing anything on my list and all of that stuff. So I think you're definitely right with that. And then someone made a comment that they feel that, well, they said that they're pretty good about putting their stuff on their schedule, but then they said, any ideas and tips for following through? And I can identify with this. I've done time blocking and time chunking, and 2 things will happen. 1, something will come up and I'm not good at readjusting for the rest of the day, or I get to it and I don't want to do it. So what tips do you have for that?
Well, I do think that some of that is a little bit of forgiveness of yourself. So I would say if you put something on your calendar that you're going to do at 10 o'clock and it slips a little and you do it at 2 o'clock, what's the problem? You got it done. Mm-hmm. So that's always a good start. Sometimes scheduling is aspirational in a way because it takes a lot of time to create a new habit. We're talking about making new habits here. So give yourself a little space that it may take a little time before you actually get it done. And then, having your priorities about yourself and those goals. A little bit of it is feeling worth like you've made a commitment to yourself and that you're worth keeping that commitment. I know some of that sounds kind of woo-woo and whatever, but I feel like that could be the problem sometimes, is we just don't value what we're doing enough. So letting other people interrupt us is not, that's not taking care of yourself very well. Standing your ground and saying, look, I understand you need me to get this done, or I understand you want to talk, but right now I have scheduled this hour of time for, to concentrated work on this, and I promise I will get back to you when this hour is up. Having those boundaries and sticking to them because it's important to you, because you want to feel successful, you want to achieve those goals, you want to be happy and relaxed and all those other wonderful things we want to be. So that's, prioritizing ourselves is part of the deal here.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to work for this company and we would put a do not disturb card. Everyone did it, so it wasn't like rude, but we would pick like an hour once a week or 2 hours and we block off and we would shut our door and put that up, and everybody knew, like, just honor that space. And it was amazing what you could get done. And it's just like if you get a day to work from home, you're like, whoa, when you don't have all those interruptions. And that's good advice for you guys that a lot of you have been asking, like, how do you build because Jennifer, a lot of people that follow me do network marketing, and they ask, how do I build my business when I'm a mom, a stay-at-home mom, and I have toddlers at home, I don't have even a second to go to the bathroom, or they work full-time. And so I think your suggestion of honoring that space and time, so it might be talking to your husband saying, look, for 30 minutes or 45 minutes at night every night, I'm going to go find a space and work on my business, or at work, you know, shutting the door saying, I've got to work on this project right now. But I think communicating is probably really helpful for sure. Do you have any like success stories? I didn't prep you to ask you this, but anything you can think of with a client that is in needed help more for the business side? I feel like your life goes hand in hand, obviously, but I feel that a lot of people sometimes they are pretty good about their home life because, of course, like I have two little kids, I have to go grocery shopping and feed them, right? But I think sometimes with our business, we kind of put it in the back burner. Do you have any success stories or any examples you can think of where they implemented your strategies for organization and it was able to help them be more effective or efficient?
I probably do have some success stories. I can say that I am a success story. I mean, I walk my talk, and I'm building a successful business. I will let you in on a little private information about myself. I've been suffering with a headache for 2.5 years nonstop, and I have, yeah, it has not been pleasant, but I'm still running my business and seeing clients and giving talks and managing my house and all that kind of stuff. And if I wasn't organized, I would never be able to keep going. It just would be impossible. So, you know, granted, might be pretty tough that I can go through the pain and keep going.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have my ducks in a row and know where things went and could just put them there without a thought and keep track of my schedule, the pain has made it difficult at times for me to think straight. And so I completely rely on my calendar. It's sometimes the only way I can remember what's going on or what I did or what I need to do. And if I didn't have a good calendar and I didn't have a filing system that works for paying my bills and all that kind of stuff, I'd be a mess.
Wow. Well, you are a testimony for sure.
And I had one of my best years ever in my business this last year. So
that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. Wow, that's really neat. So to finish, I have one last question for you, and you can share your offer that you have for everybody that watched today. So a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot, but I find that a lot of people have goals and things that they want to accomplish, and the day-to-day is what I feel is holding them back. And I don't think it's their skill sets. I think it's their mentally. I don't think that they've cleared the clutter out of their homes and their workspace, and I don't think that they've gotten a good system for how they flow through the day with their emails and the physical papers on their desk and the responsibilities and the appointments and the events and all the things that are coming their way. Do you think that there's a connection between that and receiving good things in your life and receiving abundance? Because I'd heard that before, and I've cleaned out the clutter like I told you, and I feel like everything has been flowing and going really well in my life. And do you think there's a connection with that?
I do. That does seem like one of those mysterious, mystical kind of things to me sometimes, like karma. But there does seem to be a connection. I think that having a workspace that's clear and easy to find your stuff allows that space in your mind to let the things that you need come in that helps you be successful. A cluttered workspace and a cluttered mind, when you're worrying about things and distracted by things, it's really hard to focus on what's really important and then being successful in achieving your goals. You know, there might be some sort of scientific reason, but it does seem to really work that if you have a nice open workspace and a nice open mind, and you know, meditation is a good part of that too. That allows that's a good way to clear those thoughts, at least temporarily, that really can lead to someone being successful for sure.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, and I totally agree. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Can you share how people can get in touch with you and find out more what you have to offer?
Sure. So you can find me on my website at jenniferlava.com. You can also email me at jennifer@jenniferlava.com. And what I wanted to offer your viewers today is that if they want to have a free 30-minute phone conversation with me, we can talk about what some of their issues are. I can give them a few tips in that short amount of time. And then if they want to proceed with some more coaching or hands-on work, there we can have that discussion as well. If you live in the Austin area or Central Texas, and these days I'm even driving to some other cities in other parts of Texas to work with people, we could set up an in-person visit. And even locally, we could do Skype or a phone conversation or something like that, sort of coaching folks through doing their own organizing. So I offer a lot of options for helping people, both in person and hands-on and virtual. So if you want to have that 30-minute free phone conversation, just email me again at jennifer@jenniferlava.com, and I'll be happy to set something up.
Awesome. And we'll put that in the comments too for you guys so you can just find it really easily. So, well, thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate you taking the time. This is a perfect time for this. Maybe we can revisit later this year as people get their goals underway and kind of assess and see where they're at. But thank you so much. And for those that were watching, thank you. Like I said, I'll post that information below for her. Thank you for the thumbs up and the hearts, and please share this video. We want to get this out to as many people as possible and help them have a little more peace of mind and more organization in their home, in their workspace. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.